After 5 Mission Impossible movies, can the 6th installment really be considered one of the greatest action movies ever made? We'll let you know.
Mission Impossible Fallout is the 6th installment in the Mission Impossible franchise and is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who also directed the 5th installment, Rogue Nation. Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg are back, and this time the Man of Steel himself, Henry Cavill.
That's right,
Joins
playing
the
August
cast.
Walker, yeah. So again, we have the story arc of Ethan Hunt trying to save the world with a new mission and at the same time protecting those he cares about the most. And of course, guys, this is a Mission Impossible movie, so you're going to have a flurry of impossible saves while Ethan Hunt continues to make something out of nothing with a toothpick.
That's right. You still have all the intrigue from all the other films. You have the twists and turns. You have unexpected things that you don't see coming. All of the cool elements that you would expect in all the Mission Impossible films. So the plot of Fallout revolves around a group of anarchists known as the Apostles, and what they're trying to do is get their hands on some plutonium so they can build these nuclear weapons and blow things up. And you have the villain from Rogue Nation, Solomon Lane, is back in this movie, and that's all I'm going to say about the plot. One thing viewers might be wondering as they walk into Fallout is whether its storyline can match up to its action scenes, and I am happy to report that I actually enjoyed this storyline. I liked how characters from previous films are brought back into the story, and you get some answers to questions that were not really resolved in the previous movies, and also I really like how they make a lot of the characters morally ambiguous, especially with the Ethan Hunt character. There's this conflict that is presented as far as his loyalty to the people that he cares about versus his loyalty to the mission itself.
And they do a really good job of making that crystal clear in the movie. It comes up time and again, whether it's in some type of reverie or if it's actually happening. As far as plot goes for me, I kind of felt like this was a lot of rehash. You know, you're kind of rehashing the same characters. A lot of the beats are kind of the same as some of the other movies. I felt like the action sequences, although mind-blowing, okay, just kind of took over this movie. Yes, it's an MI movie, but I felt like the drama in here was kind of rushed to get to the action sequences.
Really, I felt like it was really well paced. I thought that, you know, the pacing of this movie was spot on.
That's crazy because I'm the action guy. And
no, I was captivated the entire movie. I was never bored, and I really liked, again, how you didn't really know who was the good guy and who was the bad guy here. At least I felt that way.
I felt a lot of stuff was predictable.
Really, I disagree. I think that a lot of surprises await you. Now, I've got to admit, I've never really been a Tom Cruise fan, but I do. Yeah, I really am not, but I do enjoy his performances in the Mission Impossible films. However, I've got to say that he always just manages to come off a little over the top for my taste, but oddly enough, in this movie, I felt like a nice balance with Henry Cavill's performance.
Okay.
Because I felt like Cavill was a little bit restrained in his performance. I actually was looking for a little bit more attitude coming from him. At least that's the way that I felt. But how did you feel?
Yeah, you know, Tom Cruise, I'm a big fan of Tom Cruise, so I didn't have a problem. But as far as Henry Cavill, you know, first of all, they gave him a beard and a mustache, and it kind of makes me wonder if they were just trying to disguise the fact that, hey, this is the Man of Steel in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, going back to his performance, I really do agree that I wanted more dialogue from him.
Okay, more presence overall in the film.
I certainly did, yeah. So speaking of dialogue, we have Rebecca Ferguson, who's obviously a good actress, but to me, you know, I kind of felt like in some moments her acting was just a little too forced, some of that hard whisper. I was like, okay, yeah, a little too much there.
I think she's really sultry, actually. I enjoyed her performance, man.
You just think she's pretty?
No, but I actually think that she plays a femme fatale type character.
No, she did that spot on.
Yeah, she did a good job with that, I felt. And Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah, that was comic relief that actually worked for this movie.
Yeah, you know, it's always a good addition.
I didn't feel like it was crowbarred in there, and it didn't detract from the plot at all, I thought.
The humor didn't feel forced coming from him, right?
Yeah. Yep. Now let's really talk about what this movie's about, the action.
That's right.
We watched it in 2D, And this felt like a 3D movie because of all the in-your-face action, all the point of view shots. They were phenomenal.
Yeah, they really did some phenomenal work with the camera. They had a lot of deep focus shots so that you could really get a good sense of the depth of the scenes. This is really one of the best action films that I have seen in a while. As a matter of fact, really, like when I think back, I think of Baby Driver and I think of Mad Max Fury Road as, you know, some of the greatest action films that I've seen recently. But this is up there with those films, and definitely probably my favorite Mission Impossible film, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they really, I mean, obviously in all the movies, you know, you have these tremendous shots and they know exactly how to put you into the action, but this one more so than usual. There's a helicopter scene which is arguably the best sequence of this movie, where you just see him and feel him just go, I don't want to give anything away, but you just feel like you're there. Just
and the thing is that sometimes in action movies you get like these scenes that go on forever. These action scenes can sometimes feel like they can drag, but in this movie I didn't feel that, and part of that I think is because of the cinematography and the way in which the director was very thoughtful, I think, about like showing you some really nice settings and locales that are very, you know, lavish.
Right, it makes you feel kind of insignificant, you know, gives you that feeling.
Absolutely. But the combination of the cinematography with the action scenes is what I think makes this movie stand out.
Yes, and we talked about the helicopter scene. There's also the motorcycle scene where he's like, he really, behind the scenes, they talked about him actually weaving through opposing traffic. You have a sprinting scene along rooftops where he actually broke his foot.
Tom Cruise, man, that's a good point. The stunt work in this movie, the fact that there is not as much CGI because you have someone like Cruise who can do all this crazy daredevil stuff is again makes this movie special.
It's a fantastic realism. And then I don't want to forget about that bathroom scene, the fight scene. It was intense, and they had it very early on in the movie, and it draws you in. There were some funny parts to it too.
When Henry Cavill goes,
everyone knows that scene, but they're fighting with this one guy who, man, he just demolishes both of them at some point, but no more spoilers. So there's no question that this is a highly entertaining movie, but as far as a rating goes for me, I'm going to give it 3.5 reels, which hurts me because I love action.
What?
But I'm telling you, as I've gotten older, you know, the action, to me, you need to balance that with some more drama, and I felt like I said, the drama is just kind of marginalized in this movie. Aside from that, I felt like the action sequences, because there were so many, kind of made this movie drag a little bit. And lastly, I still think they had a predictable villain problem. It's a little watered down. I won't give anything away. And so that's why I give it 3.5 stars. And to me, it makes me wonder if Ethan should maybe not accept his next mission.
What? I highly disagree. I give this movie 4.5 reels out of 5.
You give any movie 4.5 reels.
No. This is one of the best action films in a long time. The story is just as good as the action scenes. I disagree. I don't think the action scenes overshadow the story. I really don't. I think the acting is good. I like the way that the characters, again, from the previous films, are brought into the story. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. This is a fun time. It's never boring. Go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't disagree that you have to go watch the movie. Yeah, go watch it. You know, it's going to blow your mind, but hey, you want some substance? I don't know, maybe not so much for me. But anyway, hey, that's the end of our conversation, guys. As always, we'd love to start a conversation with you guys in the comments below. And as always, we'd love for you guys to continue watching us give real takes on movies on the Stardust app, an app where we give 30-second movie reviews of trailers and movies. Hit me up at LJ5625, and you are?
And I'm at betocukoo. Also, let us know what you think about this latest Mission Impossible entry. And, you know, why don't we also talk about our favorite stunts in a Mission Impossible film? Don't forget to follow us and look us up on Facebook and on Twitter at Real Screeners. Once again, if you like our videos, hit that subscribe button and also that bell button. Thanks for watching. Mission Impossible Fallout is the 6th installment in the Mission Impossible series and is directed by Christopher Fallout is the 6th installment in the Mission Impossible franchise and is directed by
Christopher McQuarrie. Take 10.